Write the expression as the sine, cosine, or tangent. 285 degrees equals 315 degrees minus 30 degrees. Sine of 350 degrees minus 30 degrees equals sine of 315 degrees times cosine of 30 degrees subtracted by sine of 30 degrees multiplied by the cosine of 315 degrees. Sine of 315 degrees is equivalent to the negative square root of 2 over 2. Cosine of 30 degrees is equivalent to the square root of 3 over 2. Sine of 30 degrees is equivalent to 1/2. Cosine of 315 degrees is equivalent to the square root of 2 over 2. Negative square root of 2 over 2 multiplied by the square root of 3 over 2 equals negative square root of 6 over 4. 1/2 multiplied by the square root of 2 over 2 equals the square root of 2 over 4. And those subtracted by each other is equal to negative square root of 6 minus square root of 4, or square root of 2, divided by 4. Write the expression as the sine, cosine, or tangent. 285 degrees equals 315 degrees minus 30 degrees. Cosine of 315 degrees minus 30 degrees equals cosine of 315 degrees multiplied by the cosine of 30 degrees added to the sine of 315 degrees multiplied by the sine of 30 degrees. Cosine of 315 degrees is equivalent to square root of 2 over 2. Cosine of 30 degrees is equivalent to the square root of 3 over 2. Sine of 315 degrees is equivalent to the negative square root of 2 over 2. And sine of 30 degrees is equivalent to 1/2. Square root of 2 over 2 multiplied by the square root of 3 over 2 is equal to the square root of 6 over 4. Negative square root of 2 over 2 multiplied by 1/2 is equivalent to negative square root of 2 over 4. Those added together equal negative square root of 6 minus square root of 2 over 4. Write the expression as the sine. Sine of 130 degrees multiplied by cosine of 50 degrees plus cosine of 130 degrees multiplied by a sine of 50 degrees. Sine of 130 degrees plus 50 degrees is equivalent to this expression. This can then be simplified down to sine of 180 degrees, which, looking on the unit circle, would indicate that this is equal to 0. This is a basic drawing of the unit circle with the 4 major points labeled. The first point, being the origin starting at 0, would indicate 1, 0. The next point is at 90 degrees and will indicate 0, 1. The third point at 180 degrees indicates negative 1, 0. And the fourth point at 270 degrees equals 0, negative 1. One thing to notice, though, is the x and y coordinates correlate to cosine and sine. Write the expression as the tangent. One thing to notice before starting is tangent of 45 degrees is equivalent to 1, and tangent of 30 degrees is equivalent to the square root of 3 over 3. With this being said, we'll use the tangent equation for addition, so the sum, and this will be the tangent of 25 degrees plus tangent of 50 degrees over 1 minus tangent of 25 degrees multiplied by tangent of 50 degrees. There, we can then plug in the values from previous calculations of 1 and the square root of 3 over 3, and we come up with 1 plus the square root of 3 over 3 over 1 minus 1 times the square root of 3 over 3. This is then simplified down to 3 plus the square root of 3 over 3 minus the square root of 3 over 3. We can then use keep, change, flip to rearrange the formula or expression into a multiplication and cross out variables. This will leave us with 3 plus the square root of 3 over 3 multiplied by 3 over 3 minus the square root of 3. The 3's on the top and bottom, numerator and denominator, are then crossed out, and we're left with 3 plus the square root of 3 over 3 minus the square root of 3. With this being said, we then take the reciprocal, or the difference, and multiply that by the numerator and denominator to factor out the radical in the denominator. This will leave us with 3 plus the square root of 3 over 3 minus the square root of 3 multiplied by 3 plus the square root of 3 over 3 plus the square root of 3. This simplifies to 9 plus 3 plus 6 square roots of 3 over 9 minus 3. This is then simplified to 12 plus 6 times the square root of 3 over 6. And this is then divided out and left with 2 plus the square root of 3 as our final answer.